Hey y'all, and welcome to Politibrawl. My name is Brian, and Kristi Noem just mops the floor with Eric Swalwell, particularly after he asks these two ridiculous questions. He's the last one that should have any integrity in Congress. Let's dive in.
You have an important job. I think you have one of the most important jobs in the cabinet. Thank you for doing it. I want you to have credibility and be taken seriously as you do the job. And so I want to put to rest this question about Mr. Garcia and this photo that the president posted on April 21. Madam Secretary, you agree that the letters MS and the number 13 in Times Roman numeral font, that they are doctored on this photo, right?
Congressman Abrego Garcia.
No, I'm just asking about this photo.
It wasn't based off of tattoos. It was based off an entire case.
And I'll accept that
case against him.
for the purpose of this question. You agree, though, that this is doctored. Is that right?
The same protocols that are
Madam
applied
Secretary,
to every
I want you to have
with
credibility,
law
and
enforcement.
I want you to be taken seriously. Is this doctored or is it not
Sir,
doctored?
I am taken quite seriously
Is it
because
doctored
I
or
approach my
not
job
doctored?
with the importance that the president has given me to do
I understand.
my job.
Is it doctored or not
One thing
doctored?
that's important to remember is that every single time a case is built,
Madam
against
Secretary, I have a
individuals
7-year-old,
in
a
the same
6-year-old, and a
protocols.
3-year-old. I have a bullshit detector. I'm just asking you, is this doctored or not doctored?
Sir, the protocols in the case built against
Can you
Abrego
answer the
Garcia
question?
were exactly the same.
Madam Secretary,
I don't have
you're-
any knowledge as to that photo you're pointing to.
Okay, can you
I
take
don't,
her,
sir.
can you show her the photo? Walk her the photo down there. No, that one. Please take a look at this photo. It was tweeted by the president on April 21. It's been hanging out there for about a month.
So what is your point?
My question is, the numbers and the letter, MS-13, could you look at the photo, please? It's right in front of
Are
you.
you saying Abrego Garcia is not a wife
No,
beater?
no, ma'am.
That he's not a criminal?
Ma'am,
He's not a human trafficker, and he's not a member of MS-13?
You vouched for Mr. Garcia when
You're
your team
vouching for a
said, ma'am, you
that
vouched
is a
for him when
known
you said he was
violent
mistakenly
criminal.
deported.
Sir,
I didn't vouch for him.
I did not say
In that
He
photo,
should have been deported. Absolutely.
It's so
There was
telling
never
that
a
you
mistake
won't look
to
at the
deport him,
photo.
and we will not be bringing
Was
him back
it
to this
doctored or
country.
not?
In staying here, if
Can you
he
look
comes
to
back
your
the
right
country, he
at
would
the
be
photo in
deported
front
right
of you?
away.
Madam Secretary, can you look to the right at the photo in front of you?
I have seen this
Okay.
photo as you held it behind your head.
Thank you. And the letters MS and the numbers 13, are those
Is
doctored
this your
or
entire
not?
testimony today is on a doctored photo? You don't want to talk about the facts?
Okay,
The
so
importance of our national security?
you acknowledge it was
Do
doctored.
to make sure that the United States is protected?
Madam Secretary,
from
this is not a
violent
hard question.
criminals?
Are those doctored or not?
Sir,
is that actually on his hand or not?
This is unbelievable to me that your focus
It's
is on
unbelievable
a
to me
photo
that you can't
think-
look at the photo and tell the American
I looked
people.
at the photo, but I don't have any knowledge as to this photo.
Okay, so it's been hanging out there for 4 weeks. You are one of the chief law enforcement officials in the country. What have you done to investigate whether the president misrepresented the reason that that person has been detained?
Sir,
have
we
you
spend our
done
time-
anything to try and figure out whether that was doctored or not?
The mission of the Department of Homeland Security is to secure our nation and to make sure that we're out there going after those that are the worst of the worst, the criminals, the bad actors. Abrego
Yes.
Garcia.
So the answer is
a
you've done
known
nothing to
terrorist,
correct the
member
president.
of MS-13, a wife beater and a human trafficker that should never have been in this country to begin with.
So, Madam Secretary, thank you, Mr. Burnett. 2 weeks ago, your agency deported a 4-year-old American citizen in a stage 4 cancer battle. What are you doing to get him back to the country so he can get his treatment?
Congressman, this mother wished to keep her family together and to take her child with her. So as every single person is given the opportunity to, medical care is given throughout the process.
so it sounds like
And for this
nothing.
child, medical care was confirmed in their home country so that it would continue, and those treatments and whatever needs were needed to be had into the future were confirmed to be provided there before.
That child's home country is the United States. Do you believe you have a right to deport a U.S. citizen?
That mother chose to keep her family together, and that is what President Trump is focused on.
That's
making
not the
sure
facts of the case.
that- yes, it is the facts.
Madam
This
Secretary,
mother
moving on,
confirmed that she wanted to
do
keep
you
her
have a
child
right?
with her, and our families and parents are given that ability to keep their children with them when they return to their home countries.
Madam Secretary, do you have a right to deport a U.S. citizen?
No, we do not deport U.S. citizens and have not deported U.S. citizens.
Except the 4-year-old that we just
No,
referenced.
that mother chose to keep her child with her, and that is her prerogative, and the law was followed in allowing her the opportunity to do that.
And the Oscar for Best Political Theater goes to Eric Swalwell, for comedic purposes, of course. I mean, anyone who sleeps with a Chinese spy gets away with it, gets voted back into office, and then talks about credibility and talks about wanting to be taken serious. Someone give this guy an award, all right? How about an award of, being booted from Congress for awful actions that it quite literally took place with, a literal agent of the Chinese Communist Party, a nation that is diametrically opposed to the United States. Again, this has got to be comedy. It has to be. There is no other way to describe this whole situation. And he wants to look at Kristi Noem saying that, I want you to be taken seriously. Meanwhile, again, with more political comedy going on, seriously, this guy needs to wear a red nose and have some funny clown shoes because he's talking about a potentially doctored photo of Abreu Garcia, the alleged member of MS-13 who was wearing pro-MS-13 gear, who was picked up with two other known members of MS-13, who has had a whole bunch of ties and shady past with MS-13 alleged affiliates and, actions and abilities, picked up outside of a Home Depot in Maryland. You think that, if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, probably is a duck. And the Democrats are still talking about Abreu Garcia. I haven't had a comedy like this since the 2000s, which, by the way, we need to bring back good comedy. I think the last great one was The Death of Stalin, although laughing at communists is always funny in my book. But bringing up a potentially doctored photo and then trying to use that as evidence against a sitting president, I think there's more of a point to a doctored photo than using it as evidence since, I don't know, it's not a part of any ongoing legal case. Swalwell, what are you talking about? Kristi Noem is doing her best to keep her composure here, and I don't know how I would have handled it. I would have been busting out laughing. I've been holding back laughter this whole time, because again, this is comedy, all right? And if it wasn't comedy, I'd be crying because it's a clear tragedy. But if you want to talk about actual tragedies, I think you need to talk to the victims of people like Abreu Garcia, or, to people like Laken Riley, or someone else from Maryland, Rachel Morin, and there are other cases as well. And then if you really want to start tugging on the bleeding hearts of liberals, it's a good idea to actually bring up the child that had cancer who was reunited with his mother who was being correctly deported, which, by the way, here's the actual story on that. And to quote Tom Homan, Homan, in an interview with CBS Face the Nation on Sunday, said that the judge was due process. I'll get to that in a moment. Adding that the 2-year-old's mother had due process at great taxpayer expense and was ordered by an immigration judge after those hearings, so she had due process. Okay, there's later going to be a hearing on whether everything had been going according to plan, so the courts will actually decide that, not Congress. Not Democrats trying to make it look like they're tough on the Trump administration, but the courts. And they're probably going to rule in favor of the Trump administration. And the reason that I bring up the idea of the words due process, first of all, we got to address the elephant in the room. The child that was reunited with his mother was not deported. You were deported if you are here illegally or if you have done something wrong and violated the Alien Enemies Act, which is currently being enacted, and it's a good thing that the Trump administration is doing so, particularly on the insanities that are happening on our college campuses. There was a hearing just the other day about anti-Semitism and the problems that we keep on seeing at our college campuses, not to mention our college presidents refusing to clean up their own houses. But then we also have the issue of whether you should reunite your families. This is a good thing. And by the way, there's an even worse point that should be made. Kristi Noem could have easily leaned into the mic and said, do you not believe that countries south of our border can take care of cancer patients? That right there is once again the soft bigotry of the Democrat Party. And Kristi Noem is right not to bring that up, but I certainly can. And if I was a member of Congress, I'd be doing that constantly to remind Eric Swalwell that not only has he been a borderline traitor to the United States, but finally, if you want to talk about due process, the process is due to illegal migrants, and they don't get lawyers. They don't get court hearings unless they have broken the law. And I'm talking about breaking an extra law besides coming into our country illegally. All a judge has to do to an illegal migrant, even if they've done nothing else wrong, they have to say, okay, let's see, you entered in here, we have the paperwork to prove it, you have been picked up here, here's the correct paperwork. Yes, and you have enough ties? Yeah, we are deporting you immediately. Bailiff, please proceed, take this person to the nearest airport, and deport him with anyone else. That is the process that is due to illegal migrants. So don't ever let that phrase be used against you, because the Democrats will twist that. The mainstream media has tried, and it has failed. The American people reject the nonsense that Swalwell is trying to spew here, and it's a good thing that a child is reunited with his mother. That is a good thing, particularly, to bring up after Mother's Day. You'd think that most people in their right minds would kind of see that as a positive, but only the Democrats could spin that into the negative. And of course, it had to be someone like Eric Swalwell. Kristi, Noem, you did a great job here. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for keeping this country safer. And Eric Swalwell, come on, dude. You know better. Maybe that's why he's speaking after all, because he knows this is the last chance that he can have for some real relevance. Folks, my name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed that segment here on Politibrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Until then, y'all have a good one.